Hi everybody, it's Miss Danielle from Little Gym of Roxbury. I wanted to give you another story time, and we're going to do it on YouTube this time, so if you're not on Facebook, maybe you can watch it too. Alright, so the first book I'm going to read is 10 Little Rubber Ducks. Alright, so we can do some counting. Alright, so first we're going to count all the ducks. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ducks. Alright, here we go. Chuckity chuckity chuck goes the rubber duck machine. Out pop little yellow rubber ducks, one after the other. One after the other. The little rubber ducks are painted, bills red and eyes blue. Red and blue. Then they are packed 10 to a box, and off they go to be loaded onto a cargo ship. Hello, calls the captain. The captain. Hello. The captain and his cargo ship are taking the little rubber ducks across the wide sea to faraway countries. They're going to faraway countries. Suddenly, a storm churns the water into big waves. A strong wind whistles across the sea. It whistles across the sea. A big wave lifts up one of the boxes, and it throws it into the water. The box opens and 10 little rubber ducks fall out. 10 ducks went overboard. Look at all the ducks. Let's try to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 rubber ducks. Uh-oh. After some time, the storm calms down. The 10 little rubber ducks bob in the big wide sea. As far as one can see, only water and sky. Water and sky. The 10 little rubber ducks begin to drift apart. What's gonna happen, you guys? The first little rubber duck drifts west. A dolphin jumped over it. The second little rubber duck drifts east. A seal barks at it. The third little rubber duck drifts north. A polar bear growls at it. The fourth little rubber duck drifts south. A flamingo stares at it. The fifth little rubber duck drifts to the left. A pelican chatters at it. And what comes after 5? The sixth little rubber duck drifts to the right. A turtle glides past it. Look, little turtle. The seventh little rubber duck drifts up. An octopus blinks at it. The eighth little rubber duck drifts down. A seagull screeches at it. Now, let's see what happens to number 9 and 10. The ninth little rubber duck drifts this way. A whale sings to it. It's a big whale. The 10th little rubber duck drifts that way, bobbing and floating on the big wide sea. The sun is setting. It is getting dark. As far as one can see, only water and sky. Water and sky. The next morning, the 10th little rubber duck meets a mother duck and her ducklings. What does a duck say? She says, quack, quack, says the mother duck. Quack, 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 says the little ducklings. Let's see how many ducklings she has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, he's gonna make 10. What do you think's gonna happen? At the end of the day, the sun sets. It's getting dark. The mother duck and her ducklings swim toward their nest. The little rubber duck floats along with them. Good night, says the moon. Quack, says the mother duck. Quack, 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 say the ducklings. Squeak, says the little rubber duck. So I guess he's part of their family now. That was pretty lucky of him to find a mother duck and family. The end. All right. Should we do Curious George? we'll do Curious George, you guys. Alright. What does Curious George like to eat? Bananas! This is George. He lived in Africa. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. One day George saw a man. He had a large yellow straw hat. What a nice little monkey, he thought. He put his hat on the ground. And of course George was curious. He came down the tree to look at the large yellow hat. The hat covered George's head. He couldn't see. The man picked him up quickly and popped him into a bag. George was caught. The man with the big yellow hat put George into a little boat, and a sailor rowed them both across the water to a big ship. George was sad, but he was still a little curious. On the big ship, things began to happen. The man took off the bag. George, I am going to take you to a big zoo in the big city. You will like it there. Now run along and play. But don't get into trouble. George promised to be good. But it's not easy for a little monkey to remember. He forgot. On the deck, he found the seagulls. He wondered how they could fly. He was very curious. Finally, he had to try. It looked easy. I don't know, do you think he can fly? Oh, what happened? First this, and then that. Where is George? The sailors looked and looked. At last they saw him struggling in the water, and almost all tired out. Man overboard, the sailors cried as they threw him a life belt. George caught it and held on. At last he was safe on board. After that, George was more careful to be a good monkey, until at last George said goodbye to the kind sailors, and he and the man with the yellow hat walked off the ship onto the shore and into the city of the man's house. After a good meal and a good pipe, George felt very tired. He crawled into bed and fell asleep at once. The next morning, the man telephoned the zoo. George watched him. He was fascinated. Then the man went away. George was curious. He wanted to telephone too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What fun. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. George had telephoned the fire station. Oh no. The fireman rushed to the telephone. Hello, hello. There was no answer. They looked for the signal on the big map that showed where the telephone call had come from. They didn't know it was George. They thought it was a real fire. Hurry, hurry, hurry. The firemen jumped on the fire engines and to the hook and ladders. Ding dong, ding dong. Everyone out of the way. Hurry, hurry, hurry. The firemen rushed into the house. They opened the door. No fire, only a naughty little monkey. Oh, catch him, they cried. George tried to run away. He almost did, but then he got caught in the telephone wire. Oh man. A thin fireman caught one arm and a fat fireman caught the other. You fooled the fire department, they said. We'll have to shut you up where you can't do any more harm. They took him away and put him in a prison. That's awful. You didn't mean to call them, right? George wanted to get out. He climbed up the window to try the bars. Just then the watchman came in. He got on the wooden bed to catch George, but he was too big and heavy. The bed tipped and the watchman fell over. And quick as lightning, George ran through the open door. He hurried through the building and out the roof, and then he was lucky to be a monkey. Out he walked onto the telephone wires. Quickly and quietly over the guard's head, George walked away. He was free. It's like balance beam. Not safe balance beam for us though, right? Down the street, outside the prison wall, stood a balloon man. A little girl bought a balloon for her brother. George watched. He was curious again. He felt he must have a bright red balloon. He reached over and tried to help himself, but instead of one balloon, the whole bunch broke loose. In an instant, the wind whisked them all away, and with them went George, holding tight with both hands. Uh-oh. That's not good. Up he sailed higher and higher. The houses looked like tiny houses, and the people looked like dolls. George was frightened. He held on very tight. Yeah, that's not good to be so high. At first, the wind blew in great gusts, then it quieted. Finally, it stopped blowing altogether. George was very tired. Down, down he went, bumped to the top of a traffic light. Everyone was surprised. The traffic got all mixed up. George didn't know what to do, and then he heard someone call, "George!" He looked down and saw his friend, the man with the yellow hat. George was very happy. The man was happy too. George slid down the post, and the man with the big yellow hat put him under his arm. Then he paid the balloon man for all the balloons. George and the man climbed in the car, and at last away they went. We have all the balloons. They went to the zoo. What a nice place for George to live. All right, the end. So George lives at the zoo. I never realized he actually lived at the zoo. I thought he lived with the man with the yellow hat. All right, you guys. So thanks for joining us. Check YouTube for lots of classes, and we're starting to do some private lessons and Zoom classes too for you guys. So, so we'll see you soon on Facebook and YouTube. Bye, guys.